I can do a good 750.
Ooh,
in like about 30 hours ish or something. But
That's
like I said,
Hey guys, Johnny Disc Golf here at the 2019 San Francisco Open presented by Absolute Extracts. I am standing here with the GBO champion, Miss Catrina Allen. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
So, on to the West Coast. I know you were here last year. We've had a few course changes, but how's your game feeling? You know, a couple weeks removed from taking down another big course like GBO.
Feels good. I took the weekend off last weekend, caddied for Austin, but it was kind of nice because those are the weeks you can kind of, like, I'm not practicing a course, can work on upshots or putting or just any part of my game I want to work a little harder in the gym than I would if I had a big tournament. So
Sure.
I kind of feel good. Yeah.
That's good. Is there any part of your game in particular you were focusing on this weekend?
I guess just upshots. Like, I feel like I'm driving so good and I'm just not getting, I'm not driving necessarily, my upshots aren't horrible, but I want to be like inside of 25 or inside of 30 for the birds. So just taking, just took the week to just go to like 200, 250 and throw some sidearms, throw some backhands, and just tune those in a little bit.
Yeah, you mentioned, practicing your sidearm. From watching the GBO footage, I saw a lot of really good sidearm upshots. Is that something you've been focusing on, more this season?
No, everyone always says that, and I've been throwing sidearms since 2012. Like, I started with a buzz.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sidearm, yep.
Yes.
But I think now I use it even more than I ever did, so I think that's why people are, like, I'm just like, oh, right to left wind, easy, overstable, like H1 sidearm.
Yeah.
So, I just feel more confident. You're looking right at your target, easier to hit your line, so why not?
I agree. Something people have noticed, and myself included, is you have switched your putting style. We chatted a little bit at Waco about it's kind of like returning to your old putting style, more of a push putt.
Yep.
A, how's the putt feeling? And B, in a course like this and like GBO where there's maybe a lot of windy putts, do you shift back towards the spin, or what's your mindset on that?
I'm probably still going to use it inside the circle. I was kind of playing around with it today, kind of like 40 feet-ish. Headwind putts. If there's a tailwind, I still feel like I can use it. And I feel like, I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like for me personally, it's easier to manipulate the angle of my push putt to match the wind or not.
Sure.
If it gets really windy, it is tougher for sure, but I feel like at that point it's tough for everybody, spin putt. But then, like I said, I feel like with a spin putt too, just making sure I match that angle and am confident, and I still feel like I should be okay.
Yeah. You are definitely one of the longer throwers in the FPO division. Paige Pierce also comes to mind as, one of those long throwers. You guys battled at GBO and were, I think almost like 20 strokes ahead of the rest of the field. Is that something, do you think that that's going to be the case again this week? And, if not, is there anyone you're looking at that may shoot well out here?
Of course, Sarah played really well out here, which I do notice. It's very, left to right friendly. Which I love throwing turnovers and rollers and all that stuff. So, but I do think from the women's pad, I don't notice distance as crucial as I'm seeing like from Austin when I was practicing with Austin and the men's, because last year I kind of thought, well, this is a bomber course. And then once we got down to it, it's really, as much as it's wide open, it's also pretty technical.
Yes.
So, of course, I feel like distance always helps on these kind of courses, but just making sure you're in position for those upshots really and executing those upshots. So
sure. Are there any holes out here? We're kind of overlooking this course right now, but are there any holes that are standing out to you as like, make or break holes that really could decide the tournament?
You have the island hole, which of course can always be a 2-stroke swing. I guess coming down the stretch, 18 distance does help. I feel like as long as I get a good drive off, I can go for that second shot, and I'm not sure that everyone else's game plan will be the same. So that's good. 8 is another one where I feel like distance can come into play.
Absolutely.
But then again, like I said, there's a lot of the par 3s for us aren't as long, so those are a little more technical. So I feel like it's a pretty even course, and
Cool. Are you going for that island? Are you going for the safe zone off the tee on 8, or what's your thought process on that?
Yeah, I threw 6 drives and they were all well over, and then I practiced from the drop zone just to make sure, and I can still get a putt for 4. So I feel like the risk reward. And I feel like laying up then makes that second shot, then you have the green and the bunker. So it's just really a tough hole, and I feel like it's just as hard to lay up and execute that next shot as it is to execute the first shot.
Sure.
So my thought is, if I don't execute the first shot, well, now I still have a chance to save 4, as opposed to laying up, throwing OB, and now I'm having to save 5.
Exactly.
So that is personally what I think I'm going to do.
So last tournament 2 weeks ago at GBO, I don't want to dive into the nightmarish, all the headlines that were surrounding it, but considering all that, does that motivate you going forward into a tournament like this, or are you just putting it behind you and focusing on the next thing?
Yeah, like you said, not to dive too deep into it, but I guess we talked earlier, and I haven't publicly posted anything or replied to any negativity. In fact, the thing that I thought was so weird is there has always in the women's division been, whether it's me and another person or just other people in general, it seems like it gets a little more personal than perhaps in the MPO division. But in the past, when I felt like it was unnecessary, I sometimes would get emotional and just not want to be there anymore and just be like, I don't feel like this is something that I should deal with. I don't feel like... So in fact, the 2 times that something happened where I felt like there was unnecessary drama, I guess I could say, I was proud of myself for taking that energy and putting it into my next shot. In fact, I birdied the next hole one time and then went par birdie to win the tournament. So I'm going to take that, and now I feel like stronger. Like, I don't care what's coming my way, what kind of, whatever it is. I mean, like a spit out now to me is kind of like, well, whatever. Yeah. Like I feel like I said, I was pretty disappointed with all the negativity, because I've left feeling like I had tears in my eyes because I was so proud of myself for not letting it affect the rest of my round. And I started yoga, I think it was in 2016 maybe, and I'll never forget one of the mantras is like, you control how you feel, and like using that in everyday life. But then that was something I told myself after the second round on hole 12's tee pad, like, okay, you can decide what to do with these feelings and how you react, and park the hole, like put your energy into this shot and not into the negativity. And so it felt like it was unfortunately, people are saying lots of negative and horrible things, but I'm moving on, like, I feel like very strong and very confident, and win or lose this week, and I feel like I'm going to be out here feeling confident. So.
Cool. And honestly, I feel like one of the, it didn't really get enough attention, I don't think, was that moment on 12 when, there was a hullabaloo going on and you're able to center down and park the hole. I think that moment, and on 18, really those were those make or break moments. Yeah. What was going through your head? Can you what were you thinking? How'd that play out?
Yeah, just like I said, on 12's tee pad, I was like, some things were said to me that personally I don't feel like were necessary. Like I said, I felt like we just made a call with what we had. We didn't have a spotter. We didn't have a drop zone, and my group agreed with what I was saying. And I didn't personally go watch the footage, so I'll never know. But I know from the tee pad what I saw and what I fought for. And of course, I mean, how many times do you throw down a hill and think you're parked and you're 30 long, or how many times do you throw up a hill and think you're long and you're 10 feet? So it can be with the perception, it can be, it can suck when you don't have a spotter or a drop zone. And and then, to have words said to me on the next tee box, I walked back behind, waited to take scores, and was just breathing, trying to stay relaxed, because I didn't want all of my good play to be determined by an altercation or a discussion, I felt like. But on the tee box, I was just like, okay, you control how you feel now, and you can control the rest of your round, and you can either throw upset or not take your time. But I just kept telling myself, I kept taking deep breaths and just saying, you're in control of your emotions and how you react. So let's react and put all of this energy into my shot. And then that was my best shot on hole 12. So,
No, it's got to be a satisfying feeling, and I can see you're smiling now. I can tell it, it is a very positive moment.
Yeah.
Let's take a step back from the disc golf course right now.
Yeah.
We're in San Francisco. Beautiful city. You were here last year.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're doing off the course to maybe just separate church and state, if you will, and kind of leave it behind? Is there anything in the city that you're doing?
I guess I don't know if we'll. Last year we went up and walked through the redwoods.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We had thought about maybe if we have time taking like a ferry, doing that
the
kind.
bay.
Yep. But otherwise, we're kind of staying south, and I love the little area we're at. There's like a bunch of Thai places, sushi places, cute little breakfast spots. There's like, little markets with all the fresh fruit and strawberries like this big.
Yep.
And so I don't know that we'll do too much because honestly, I love the gym, so I go to the gym at night. And I know this is cheesy, but I'll maybe do a puzzle. I love putting on.
Who doesn't love puzzles? Come on.
Schitt's Creek is one of my favorite Netflix shows that I think if I started again, it'd be my third time. And so I like to put that on the background and do a puzzle, and then that keeps me off of social media and keeps my thoughts. Yeah, and I love the satisfaction of doing the puzzle.
No, seriously, growing up, my family was like a huge puzzle family. I
Okay.
empathize big time. It's like a meditation thing.
Yeah.
Now, question, do you do edges first? How do you start your puzzles?
So I found, even though it is my least favorite way to start it, I separate it by colors and kind of try to look at the picture and figure out
Ballpark,
the
yeah.
patterns. Of course I know they are on purposely tricky so that two different parts look the same. And so I'll separate all that, separate the edges, and then that way I can start on pieces and then go together. I can do a good 750
Ooh, in
about 30 hours ish or something. But like I
Serious?
said, that's when I have no tournament,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
going on. We're set off for a week, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be practicing
Training.
in the morning
Yeah.
and then rest of the day to chill.
train for the professional puzzle tour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're addicting.
I
They're
know,
so
no,
addicting.
I feel you. No, 100%.
Yeah.
I do feel you.
I think because Nick Hyde, me, Eagle, Austin, and Tina, and Maria, and Eric all stayed together.
Yeah.
And me and Maria and Tina had kind of started one. And then Eagle didn't tee till 3. And he said he spent all morning trying to do our puzzle. And everyone kind of,
Just chipped in. It's
Yeah.
a family affair. That's like
It
always in
is.
my family. We had it on the dinner table or the counter, the kitchen table, and it
Yeah.
just kind of got done. And eventually
Yeah.
somebody put a little piece in.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
San Francisco Open, it is sponsored by Absolute Extracts this year. It is a cannabis-based company
Okay.
that is, fairly new in the scene, especially as a title sponsor. We've seen breweries,
Yeah.
sponsor before. But how do you feel, about that movement? And does that affect how you feel about the tournament? Where are you at on that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, anybody knows me knows I don't personally partake, but I know that there are great benefits in the medical field, and I really, am down for that, of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
I know there are people who are very ill or have cancer and things like that, and I know it really helps. So, whether my opinion on you should do it regularly or not, that's all,
Yeah.
your life. But no, I don't. Like I said, I don't mind
Yeah.
them supporting the event. I think in our sport and where we're going, any sponsor like that
Yes.
is awesome.
I agree. I mean, I think a lot of people have been talking about getting outside money into the scene.
Exactly.
And this really feels like one of the first times a major splash has been made.
Yeah, because last weekend at the tournament, Austin played, I think, a vape shop and a medical or same kind of shop, put in a lot of cash. So if they're willing to do that,
Yeah.
I mean, you can only have so many Innova, Prodigy,
Exactly.
Discraft. Like you said, there's only so much money
Yeah,
inside.
it kind of just cycles around. I think that's kind of where we are right now. It's like the same cash flow cycling around from the same thing. So, I guess on a tournament side, what was our priority is trying to break that cycle.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear that there's support, and I haven't heard much from the pros on the negative, really.
Because I do know, what is it, the CBD oil, or they have different ones for muscle pain and
salves and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah. And I'm all for that. Like I said, the only thing that, is just as long as you're being respectful with
Sure.
it as far as during the round or,
Oh, yeah.
other than that, it's just it's everywhere nowadays. And
exactly.
yeah, I'm very open to it, of course.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate your candor on that subject. It can be a divisive one, really.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go for now. I know you're
Okay.
probably going to go grub out. I recommend Taqueria Guadalajara. It's a great burrito spot. It's just down the street.
Okay, I was going to say, we ate at a couple of local, within a couple of miles last year, maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're in the perfect neighborhood. The Mission
Yeah.
District's great.
Yeah.
But I'll get you out of here with, I want to ask you to say anything you want to your friends, your family, anybody pulling for Cat out there.
Yeah. all of the things from GBO side, like I said, I know we had talked about some negativity, but I do appreciate everyone who personally supports me. The messages, the comments on all my things, I do appreciate all the love and support. And I want to say thanks to Prodigy and Black Ink Disc for the support, and to my fans and friends and family at home.
Cool. Well, hey, thank you so much for your time, Kat. I really appreciate it. For all of you at home, if you want to check out coverage of all things disc golf, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Oh, hello there. The video's over, and thank you so much for checking out that interview. I want to thank a few early season sponsors. That's OTB, Disc Golf Pins, Prodigy Disc, and most importantly, the San Francisco Disc Golf Club, the best club in the country, asterisk because I haven't seen them all.